Good morning, everyone. Now we will study legal aspect of business, in which we were in last lecture we have studied about the introductory part of Sales of Goods Act, in which we have studied essentials of Sales of Goods Act, difference between sale and agreement to sale. In this study, in this topic, we will discuss about the conditions and warranty topic, which is one of the important topic when it comes to uh, Sales of Goods Act from exam point of view. So we will study about conditions and warranties. So what are conditions and warranties? To understand this, see, generally at the time of sale, the seller makes certain representations or the statements for the praise of his goods or service, uh, among which certain representations are based on the opinion of others, whereas some representations are based on fact. So which becomes a part of contract of sale as stipulations. So stipulations may be conditions or warranty depending upon the importance of that stipulation in relation to the contract. We can understand this as an example. If you are going to buy a car, so the seller will describe you many cars. So he can tell you about the specifications and features of car, that these are the specifications, this is the mileage, this is the durability, this is the engine power. So these are certain stipulations, certain representations. Whereas if you ask him to give his opinion about which car is best, so he can tell you about certain car, that this car is used by my neighbor or my relative, and this is very uh, value for money for you and for them also. So these are two kind of representation. One was about specifications and the features of the car, and second was the opinion about which car is better, or which car gives more mileage, or which car has more value of money. So these two kind of representations first was made up on the basis of the features of the, or the based on the fact of the contract, whereas the second opinion was based representation was based on the opinion of uh, other persons. So the stipulations which further amount as conditions and warranties. So stipulations which are essential to the main purpose of contract are known as conditions, by the breach of which, that means if these conditions are not fulfilled, these stipulations are not fulfilled, the aggrieved party have a right to terminate the contract. That means he can resign the contract or repudiate the contract. Whereas certain stipulations which are not the essential but the collateral of main purpose of contract are known as warranty, and the breach of warranty will give rise to aggrieved party to claim damages. He cannot terminate the contract. And the conditions and warranties may be expressed and implied also. So certain conditions and warranties are uh, in the form of written or verbal form, whereas certain conditions and warranties are implied, and which is arises out of contract itself. It should not be conveyed in words or the orally or in written form. So now we will study about the type of conditions and warranty, which is if we talk about express condition and warranty, it could vary from one product to another product as the contract suggests, whereas there are certain implied condition and implied warranty which are same for almost all kind of the contract of sale, and which need not to mention for creating every time such kind of contract. So first we talk about implied conditions. So implied conditions are those conditions which need not to describe at the time of contract. These are pre-existed, and the breach of which may arise a right to aggrieved party to cancel or terminate the contract. So these conditions are basically first condition, and first implied condition is condition as to title. See, there is an implied condition on part of seller that first, in case of sales of goods, the seller has right to sell the good further. So that means the title should be clear. You cannot pass a defective title to seller. And second, in case of agreement to sell, the seller will have a right to sell the good at the time of when the property is passed to the buyer. That means the ownership right is passes to the buyer. So that means title should not be defective. That means the seller is passing a better title to the buyer, so that he can enjoy the full right of or he can have right of resale the product. Second is condition as to description. So that means where the goods are sold by the description, that means the seller has described about the product, and the buyer has made a contract of sale on the basis of that description. So that commodity should be in consistent with the description made by the seller, and if it is not, that means it is a breach of condition. For example, a machine was sold to the buyer, and the buyer has not been seen the machine, but seller has described about that it is a new one, that is, it is not a used machine. However, the buyer find later on that it is a used machine. So this is a breach of condition. Third condition is condition where implied condition of sale by description. Sorry, sale by sample. One second. Yeah, it is sale by sample. So if the commodity is sold on the basis of sample provided by the seller, so the whole lot or the quantity should be at par with the sample provided by the seller. It should not deviate. That means a seller cannot provide the different sample and the different commodity. So where the goods are sold by sample, for these implied conditions are applicable. So the bulk quantity which is demanded shall correspond with the quality in sample, and buyer should given a reasonable right to compare the goods with the sample, and if he find it is defective or in a variation with the sample he's received, so he has a right to terminate the contract. Next implied condition is sale by description as well as sample. So this is the extension of above two implied condition. That means if goods are sold on the basis of sample provided by the seller and the description provided by the seller, so the bulk commodity should be in accordance with the sample as well as the description both. Next essential is condition as to quality or fitness for the buyer's purpose. See, quality for the fitness, for the buyer's purpose, uh, it is dependent on where the buyer expressly or impliedly tells the seller for a particular purpose he need that particular goods or services, and rely on the skills and judgment of seller, and the seller is dealing with the same commodities. So this condition, implied condition, is applied. For example, if I purchased a hot water bottle from a chemist, and while the bottle I used, it is cracked, and it is creating certain injury to me, so I can sue for the buyer, sue the seller for the termination of contract, or for the receiving the price of the commodity, or claim the damages which I had suffered. Next essential is condition as to merchantability. So there is a condition in sales of goods that the commodity which you are selling should be of merchantable quality. So where the goods are not brought by the description, or on the basis of sample, the condition of merchantable quality is existed. So what is merchantable means? Merchantable means there should be no defect in the goods which renders them until unfit for the sale. That means, for example, if you are going to buy a staple, for example, if you are going to buy rice, and if yeah, sorry for interruption. And if the rice has certain dirt in it, or the small granules of particles of stone in it, so it is not of merchantable quality. So it is a breach of condition, implied condition. Last essential is the condition as to wholesomeness. So wholesomeness means the goods must be safe for human consumption. So this condition applies to the edible and the food stuffs. So it, everything you are uh, buying for the consumption purpose, that should be wholesome, that should be safe for consumption of humankind. So these are the implied conditions. Now we move on to the implied warranty. There are certain implied warranties as well. So, but if a seller breach implied warranty, the buyer cannot repudiate the contract. I mean, he cannot terminate the contract, but he can suit for the damages. First implied warranty is warranty as to quiet possession. So in absence to any contract showing contrary intention, there must be an implied condition that buyer shall have to have and enjoy the quiet possession of goods. If the buyer is disturbed in enjoying such kind of right, he can claim damages. So buyer has a right on the commodity uh, to use in the way he wants to use it. Next, second implied warranty is warranty against encumbrance or any charges. Encumbrance means charges. So unless the circumstances in the case, the implied warranty suggests that goods shall be free from any charge or any encumbrance in favor of any third party, uh, and which is not declared by the buyer at the time of sales of goods. And the last uh, warranty, implied warranty, is warranty to disclose dangerous nature of the goods. So in case of sale of dangerous goods, the seller is an under obligation to warn public about that kind of dangerous nature of commodity. Otherwise the seller is shall held liable for the paying damages. So as you see, for example, you see the if uh, mosquito repellent are sold, that is a kind of poison, and the dangerous nature is disclosed on the packaging of the such commodities. On the perfumes, you can see it is mentioned that it's highly flammable. So these are the part of implied warranty to disclose nature dangerous nature of the commodity. So these are the three kind of implied warranty. So in this lecture we have studied about the concept of condition and warranty, and what are the implied conditions and implied warranty in sales of goods act. So that is all for the now. Thank you.